By working together we can achieve a lot more than we can by trying to do it all ourselves. And by working together we also gain so much more insight and knowledge and experience.
Andy Green was born with cerebral palsy. His parents were told he would never walk, talk, and he would spend the rest of his life in a wheelchair.
We were basically taken into the staff room where all the nurses make the cups of coffee and everything. The consultant came in and said, "You'll be lucky if he's not a vegetable. He's never going to walk, he's never going to talk. You better get prepared for it. Basically, you're going to need to set your lives up around Andy and his needs." The problem is, nobody told Andy this, so he had different ideas.
I do believe that limitations are often self-imposed, so if we believe something to be true, it is true, and similarly, if we don't know about something, it can't limit us.
So as parents, we just decided that we would make the best of it and do our best to help him get along in life, didn't we?
We just said to him, you can do whatever you want to do, just like everybody else, but you've got to work so much harder than everybody else.
My parents always brought me up on the basis that practice makes perfect, and they kind of didn't let me give up very easily.
It's like we said, if you can't do it the first time, just try again. You know, just because you don't manage it the first time doesn't mean say it's never going to happen.
But there were situations where I got really tired very quickly, and it got emotionally exhausting for me.
Despite the challenges, Andy did well at school and went on to college to take A-levels in maths and physics and study computer science.
As part of the computing course, everyone was required to find a real-life client to develop some bespoke software for.
Andy turned to his old school, Humberston Academy, where he was volunteering on the sports enrichment programme.
I worked at Humberston Academy as their sports enrichment officer. My role was largely based on participation in sports for all learners, and we obviously needed a way of measuring the impact of that. So we used to run clubs, fixtures, inter-house competitions, events. We had a lot of things going on, and we needed something other than paper registers from all the members of staff running different bits and pieces. I knew that Andy was a little bit savvy with his computer skills, so I had a meeting with him to see kind of what he could do for us and how he could develop something potentially for us to measure what we was doing and kind of have everything online.
Throughout probably 6 months I worked with Humberston to develop this software to their exact requirement.
It had a huge impact. You know, we had iPad scanners, and it was all automatic, and we had a live system, so we could see everything, we could see the averages. Humberston Academy is part of the David Ross Education Trust as well, so from that we kind of piloted it, and then I took it to Shane Ward, who's the sports enrichment manager for the trust, and the software then developed from there really and rolled out across all 10 academies.
It kind of opened my eyes as to how big the market was for bespoke software.
Encouraged by this success, Andy went on to develop solutions for other clients and now runs a successful business in bespoke software. Developing a successful business will be enough for most people, but not for Andy. On a family holiday to Cape Verde's Sol Island, Andy and his family were touched by the contrast between the wealth of the tourist resorts and the poverty of the native people.
We went there just because it was an alternative destination. Because we'd never been there before, we took an excursion which was a tour of the island. And as part of that tour, for a brief moment, we drove through their equivalent of a shanty town.
He saw the way they live out there, the way that
he became aware of the situation they were in.
The children want an education and they're trying so hard to be educated, but they don't have the facilities.
The scenes we saw were pretty shocking. When we got back to the hotel, I started asking questions, and it turned out that Sol Island does struggle, both financially and in terms of education. And they'd actually set up a school where tourists could go and donate pens and pencils and paper and things.
Many others have felt compassion for people in third world countries and perhaps made a donation, but that wasn't enough for Andy and his family.
Once I was back in the UK, I started to think, actually, what does a pen or pencil or piece of paper solve? Someone could have all the paper in the world, but if they don't know what to write on the paper, it's no good to them.
Andy's condition has made him a thinker. It's made him aware of other people's disabilities and problems and everything, and so it's made him want to, he knows he can achieve things if he tries hard, so I think he wants to pass that ethos across to everybody else.
I thought, well, what can we do to make things better and to actually improve the situation? And that was when I had the idea for Counting Hope. The idea was to actually focus on the education system as a way to give the people the knowledge and the skills so that they can help themselves to improve rather than relying on handouts and donations which actually don't help.
Andy set up a charity to benefit the islanders with the help of the Nell.
Well, we looked at obviously all the paperwork we looked at together to get a form of words that actually suited the sort of work that Andy and the charity wanted to achieve. It's called a charitably incorporated organisation, which allows them to trade as well as ask for funding. Yeah, I think it's very ambitious, and to do something internationally is not something that a lot of charities will take on. Particularly, it's not a huge charity by any stretch of the imagination. So yeah, I think it's a really ambitious and worthwhile thing to do.
Once we started to talk to the locals a bit more, we began to see a bigger picture emerging, and we realised that education perhaps wasn't the starting point. A lot of families lived in so much poverty that they struggled to feed themselves and their family. We were chatting to a tour guide one day, and he told us that actually some parents got so desperate that they had to allow their children to basically prostitute their children, allowing their children to be basically sex workers was a way for them to get income and feed their family. They've got a different way of living, they have a different outlook on life.
They're so happy, they're so pleased to see you, they'll do anything for you, and they'll give you anything, even when they don't have anything. And they never ever ask for help. When we say charity to them, they don't, it's not a word in their vocabulary, they don't actually, you say charity.
One of the reasons Counting have picked this is because we don't want them to rely on tourism, let alone handouts and generosity.
One of the guiding principles of Counting Hope was to provide hope that encouraged sustainability and self-dependence.
We've recently funded the build of a kitchen at a kindergarten, which will, one, create opportunities for people to cook in there, but it will also ensure that the children do get at least one good meal per day so that they can continue learning.
3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
He's taken the mantra we gave him. He's taken the, what we said to him all those years, and he's just taken it to the extreme, like he does with everything. And there's just no stopping the guy.
The first obstacle many getting on stage. I've done it. Isn't it amazing though what a little help can do for someone, how a little help can make all the difference? By working together we can achieve a lot more than we can by trying to do it all ourselves.
The future looks bright for Andy's business and charitable activities, and in his personal life he's starting a new chapter with his partner Rebecca.
I've known him since November 2017, so it's just over a year now. We met online, and then we just hit it off from there really got along. It's quite funny, and then I found out that he does a lot of volunteering, he's got his own business, and it just went off from there really. We've bought a bungalow in Waltham now, so we're just waiting for all of that to go through. We was quite lucky, we found one pretty much straight away, but at the beginning we thought it was going to be really hard. It's finding something as close as possible and then adapting it as well. So then once the house has gone through, we've then got to get people in to adapt it to his needs.
Yeah, it was a bit of a shock, wasn't it? We sort of expected he'd never leave, although that's probably an unrealistic thought.
Yeah, I think secretly you think, he's going to be with us, under our roof, under our care forever, and he's just, this is the next stage in his life and everything. But I think we've both found it very difficult. We both found it difficult to let go, to let him do his own thing.
It's something that I've always had as a goal to live with the person I love to settle down, to have a family one day. And the things that I do in life are mostly to benefit other people, and that includes the people I care about.
If you have been affected by any of the issues raised in this programme, you can get help from your GP, or you can contact the Samaritans on 116 123. If you have an idea for a project that can help your local community, call the INGITE team at Voluntary Action North East Lincolnshire on 01472 231 123.